What will be the key demographic vote coming up in 2024 for the U.S. presidential elections? Hello, this is Chart GPT today. That's that question. We got the 2024 elections coming up. We just had the GOP debates. What is the key demographics going into the 2024 election? It might be interesting. I know a lot of people have pondered that, and a lot of people are planning their political strategies around it. So we thought we'd take a look at some numbers here. First up is the first thing that comes to mind is race. How do the white, black, Hispanic, and others kind of stack up here? And you can see the trend here from 96, 2004, 12, and 2019. It used to be a white only, but you can see that these numbers have been growing and are largely heading towards the Democratic side. So, but just how much and how important is it? Well, if you look at the 2020 other, which is everything other than white and black and Hispanic, it's only gaining about 1% in favor of the Democrats. If you look at Hispanics, it's going at 3.6% in favor of Democrats, and obviously the black vote is where the big one is, 8.8%. But then the white vote on the counter to that is 13.8% in favor of the Republicans. So that if you kind of do all the net of that, it's a net zero. That doesn't mean that people won't be battling to try to move these numbers between the categories for sure. And it is with note that it is the minority vote is growing in each election, so that is important. But nevertheless, today it might mean a lot less than you might think. So if everybody continues to vote as is, it's near zero actually. So focusing too much on the racial component of the demographics might not yield you too much. Of course, here's the next one here, which is really the biggie here that a lot of people tend to overlook a little bit, and that is the gender vote. We're talking basically women and men, and you can see that the gender vote is a huge, in this particular poll from NBC here, you can take a look at the post link in the description box, around 15% difference. Women tend to favor Democrats 15% over the GOP. Now this is significant, and it has grown over the last, say, 5, 10, 15 years. And now this may be a little bit high, this 15%, but I've seen other polls around 10, so it's between 10 to 15%, and that's huge compared to the racial component. So this is probably an area that the politicians will probably need to focus on if they're looking to make some changes. And the odd thing about the women's issues, if you look at these in healthcare, crime, gun violence, child care, climate change, and all the issues, they're fairly consistent across the board. Probably climate change and sexual discrimination are probably the biggest in terms of differentiation between Republican and Democrat, but some of these other issues are not all that different. Of course, the big one not mentioned on this chart is the abortion issue. Obviously, the Democrats are pretty much all in on abortion, where the GOP are a little bit more diverse in their opinions. Of course, it's not just a female issue. Obviously, men weigh in on the human rights issue. Of course, the Democrats try to make it about pro-choice, and the Republicans try to make it about human rights, which is really not the same categories. But the point is, it is there, and so these women issues are going to become key in the presidential election, and I'm sure they'll be focusing. I noticed in the debates there, Nikki Haley was pushing the idea that the Republicans need to kind of focus more, not being so draconian on the abortion issue. And of course, that could have had an effect in the 22 midterms. A lot of people think that the Roe v. Wade issue is what steered it. Of course, women tend to vote more than men. It used to be the other way around, but now it's women tend to vote more than the men. So that's something else that's concerned is all these require, if you look even in the racial component, the minorities tend not to vote, and men now tend not to vote. So that's quite interesting. Give us your take. We asked the AI what are some of the gender issues. You can take a look at the post link on that and give us your take. Should we be focusing more on the gender issues in terms of demographics or racial issues? Give us your take on the poll. Don't forget to subscribe.